Changing the engine oil on these, they certainly extended a lot of the service intervals on these cars, and that was to be competitive in the market. I'm still a big believer of changing your oil once a year or every 10,000 Ks. It's just, oil is like anything, it gets dirty and you should change it. If you're not using the car, it collects moisture, so a layer of water sits on top of your oil, so it's definitely very, very important to change your oil. We're seeing a few of them come through now where you've got an owner that travels from, say, the North Shore or Mossman to the city every day in bumper-to-bumper traffic in his Tiptronic 996 or 997, PDK, all of these cars. The thing doesn't get to rev, so the car spends most of its life going from 1,000 or 900 RPM to 3,500 RPM and changing gears. Well, what happens is that there's a thing, they've got variable cam timing. All these engines have got variators, so that basically there's a part on the end of the cam that varies the cam timing, and you've got a solenoid that opens up the like an oil chamber to allow oil to make the variator move. Problem is that doesn't work until over 4,000 RPM. So this solenoid doesn't get to open, oil doesn't get to flow through them, but it gets hot and it gets cold and hot and cold and hot and cold, and there's no oil going through there. So what happens over time is it gums up. You're not getting out and giving it a good flogging so that the variator's open and gets oil flowing through and all of this sort of thing. So what we're seeing is that more and more of the cars, and like I said, manual cars, most people rev manual cars, whereas Tiptronic cars just change, is that these variators start to stick. And so then eventually, the worst case, it starts to misfire, or you get all sorts of little problems around this. What I would suggest to people is, if you've got some of these, all of these models, they're all pretty much the same with the variators, is get out and drive the thing at least once a month. Take it for a good drive. I don't want you telling the copper that Grant said, hey, get out there and flog the thing. Don't send me the fine. But it does. I think it is pretty critical to go and try and use your cars, get them over 4,000 RPM, and not for just 2 minutes, like for a good long period of time, so that oil flow can get through the variators and everything's open and flushing. That's all getting flushed.